You are welcome to the program Focal Point on Ignite TV. This program is powered by Ignite TV, and as you are watching us, whichever places you are watching us, my name is Mrs. Achala Oshunju. My topic of discourse for today is tagged Rebuilding Children's Future. Rebuilding children's future. So I present to you how the future of our children, most children's lives have been truncated, or let me say, most children have made some costly mistakes in life, but with the help of God and the Holy Spirit, their future can be rebuilt. We have various children or children of various ages within their formative years who on one area or the other must have missed it in one area of circumstances of life or the other. We also have children who have done mistakes or who have made mistakes in various circumstances of life, in every ordeal of their life, even in experiences of life. So they have been victims of one circumstance of life or the other. So how can these children's future be rebuilt? We can rebuild the future of these children through sound moral values or ethical standards of living, ethical standards of lifestyle in this our changing world. As we all know, parents are first teachers at the home front, and the child's formative years are formed right from childhood into adulthood. The child grows from childhood and he or she grows into adulthood. And now let's examine closely the formative years of the children according to their ages. From age 0 to 2, the child learns little manners like nursery rhymes being recited into his or her ears, which gives him or her the consciousness of mannerisms and social living with interaction with our peers at that level. Age 2 to 4, the child learns values like showing kindness to animals. He is nature conscious, he or she is nature oriented, and he learns values and etiquettes like gardening. Maybe the parents are doing some gardening in the house, like showing value, the children showing values and etiquettes like gardening, or showing kindness to animals like giving dogs food or growing to love animals. Then age 4 to 6, the child learns moral stories. He can learn moral values from bedtime stories told by the mother or the father. And he learns courtesies, respect, honesty, and truthfulness in all his formative years or her formative years. Then ages 6 to 10, children begin to be nature conscious and learn cooperation and respect from the family front, like the family bonding, which is extended to our immediate world and environment, towards our classmates and others around him or her. Then ages 10 to 16, these are the preteens and the teenagers. They grow into tweenes and young adults and young mothers or young fathers. Here, the children are more conscious of their environment, like peer influences. This is their adolescent developmental stages, whereby they learn from outside influences, either positive or negative. I mean, either negative or positive attitudes, which brings out the innate or inborn attitudes or inborn traits or habits or character in them. At this stage, they must possess critical thinking. They must possess critical thinking skills, whereby they can stand up to their actions and become and grow into a responsible adult. At this stage, children learn to be critical. They are analytical in the sense that they can interpret better, they can analyze, and they can evaluate, and they can explore their world. Now, let's go to, we have said how the future of our children can be rebuilt, and they can learn social values and social ethics in our changing world and in our changing society. I would say behind every successful child is the learning of moral values. So moral values cannot be overemphasized in this area of discourse. So what are moral values? Moral values are lessons or principles that direct one's behavior, choices, and deeds in his environment or in his or her community. Moral values include lessons like learning right from wrong or good from bad, and exhibiting moral behaviors like bravery and honesty. You can't give what you don't have. So children must be brought in a way to explore their world and to be conscious of who they are as they grow into adults. What are ethics? We can define ethics as, in the Greek version, it is said that ethics are ethos, that is, habits or customs or character that a child exhibits in his growing and developmental stages. Now, I want to quickly delve into why are ethics and morality important for children? Why are ethics and morality important for children? Teaching kids good values and responsibility helps them to think from other people's point of view and other people's perspective. It helps them to know their purpose in life. For a child to be trained from childhood to adulthood, he or she must be conscious of who he wants to become. He must be conscious of the kind of environment he grows into. And he must be conscious of the purpose and plans that he is cut out for. He is cut out for a purpose in life, so he must realize and he must be conscious of this reality while growing into adulthood. Children find their purpose for living and what good things they need to do to others in the society. This is where compassion, we are still going to talk about the different types of morals or moral values that is being expected in a sound and a society that has a kind of cultural beliefs in ideologies of social values. Now, moral values also help children to be more selfless and put the needs of others before theirs. So moral values give children perspective, make them strong, and transpires firm beliefs in them, which makes them work very hard and have courage when they are facing challenges in life. Every day we learn about the pressing concerns, different concerns the adolescents falling victims of child abuse, child molestation, rape, and robbery or theft. So we have these pressing concerns that youth face today, such as anxiety, stress, depression, suicide mission, and whatnot. So what are the importance of values and ethics in moral development of our society? Ethics and values make an individual aware that their choices have consequences both for themselves and for others. So ethics and values build credibility, leadership skills, improves decision making, and provides long-term gains and benefits for those that observe these values and put them into practice. So ethics and values help in satisfying basic human needs. So ethics and values are very crucial for a human being when it comes to personal and professional success. The human being, as a social animal, has to follow certain social norms: truth, non-violence, benevolence, humility, truthfulness. These are many qualities in this limit of our society. So to maintain a good relationship, either with our partners or families and friends, in our workplaces or anyone else or anywhere, this ethics plays a great role in human life and human endeavors. Ethics also shows human behaviors and their background, that is, the way they had been, the way they had been in the past and the way they had been brought up. This is morality in the real sense of it. Your habits, your character, and your attitude determines your altitude. So the English expert says that your attitude will determine your altitude. And a psychotherapist said once that success is a targeted effort guided by discipline. So children need to cultivate these moral values and high societal standards for their all-round development as humans in a changing world. Every individual should have manners and ethical principles to live a life worthy of emulation and a reputable life. We have work ethics as well. We have professional ethics. We have code of conduct in an organization of the society whereby we live in. So the upstanding values and ethical morals or moral standards are easy to recognize, as is the organizational or societal standards which they employ in value-based business decisions and ethical guidelines. These must be adhered to by all and sundry. All these are benchmarks for successful organizational goals. Those who agree to accept less can have an adverse effect on their companies or their organization or the society at large and the rest of the world. An English adage says, it takes a village to raise a child. We Yoruba people, in the Yoruba parlance, we say that ojú kan ló ń bímọ, ìgbà ojú ló ń wò. So we believe that it takes a village to raise a child. Once we have imbibed or inculcated discipline at children, they go out to portray and to exhibit these behaviors in the outside world or the environment where they belong, either now or in the future. So as parents, we must instill and inculcate these values and ethical behaviors in our children right early in life. And as they grow in various developmental stages of life, they will not depart from it. I would like to quote the biblical or scriptural verses, which says in Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6, train up a child in the way he or she should go, and when he grows or she grows up, when he or she grows older, she will not depart from it. and Proverbs chapter 3 verse 12 and Proverbs chapter 29 verse 17. So let us avoid comparisons and harsh criticisms in bringing out the values in our children, or giving them the very best of societal standards and norms. Now, I would like to just give some to buttress my explanation. Let me cite some examples in our changing world of a victim that's just happened in the school setting where I teach. There was this girl, right now she's in SS3. She was raped about 3 weeks ago. So she came to me to confide in me that she was raped by a man, that the man is a known figure in that environment, but that he cannot really, the girl said she has never had any encounter with the man, but he normally sees her around on their street. So, and he said, the girl said that the man once made some love advances to her elder sister, so that she has never had any confrontation or encounter or any relationship with the man. The man is 35 years old. So she now said, "Mommy, I've not been coming to school." I said, "I noticed. Why? What happened? You are falling into depression." And she said, "Mommy, in fact, that she doesn't know how she will come out of the trauma, that will she not be stigmatized? Will she not be looked down upon? Will she not be intimidated by the so-called rapist whenever she sees him again?" So I now sat her down with the school's counselor. I called the attention of the school's counselor, and the two of us with the girl, the counselor said our own part, counseled her, and gave her some tips that she should be very careful, that she should not be too forward, or maybe she should keep herself pure. She should not be discouraged, and she should take life as it has come and forge ahead in her studies. That her studies, when she makes it in life, she will forget the past, and she'll be a voice to be reckoned with, having that experience and becoming a victim in that area. So I now chipped in. I said, "My young girl, you don't need to go into any trauma. It has happened to people before you. It will still happen, because this is a society where societal values are not being held in high esteem unless we teach it and we inculcate it into our children." So I now encouraged her and now gave her the number of an NGO who has been a therapist and a voice and an example in this experience. So I collected the number of the dad, and I collected her number. So I called the therapist and explained to her, and she said, "Mommy, don't worry, I'll take care of that, and she will surely become what God has ordained her to be." That, see me, I'm also a victim. I have been a victim of this experience, of this ordeal. Here I am today. I'm married with kids, doing well in my marriage. So I also encouraged that girl, and I told the NGO therapist to help me give her a very good counsel and make her to be herself, and not to respond negatively to or put up an action that will make others stigmatize her or look down on her and just sidetrack her in the things of life. And she's a brilliant girl. She's even a science student. And I encouraged her and I said, you can become a star. Even having gone through this, you can become a voice in future. Telling youths and teenagers about your deal and what you will become in future, to give a helping hand unto those who would also be victims of this kind of experience. So I gave her a kind of a nudge. I gave her a kind of nudge that she can still forge ahead in life, forgetting the past and reaching for those things which God has in store for her. So she left happily, and I said I will follow up, and the NGO therapist will also follow up. As the NGO therapist will speak to her father and will talk to her and make her to be conscious of her future, that her future is more important than what has happened to her. She gather herself together and forge ahead in her studies. So we close the chapter. She was happy and she has started coming to school regularly. So we have a lot and lot of examples like that. There was an example also of somebody who, when we are talking of honesty, we English experts, we say honesty is the best policy, and honesty is the best legacy. Honesty is the best legacy we parents can give to our children. So I said I was giving I gave this topic as a story in one of my essay lessons in school. So I said, write a story which illustrates the saying, honesty is the best policy. And I gave a viewpoint on that ground. I said, do you know, my students, that honesty still pays. Honesty pays off, even in this changing world of negativities, where negativities are being recorded than positivities, where bad deeds are being encouraged over the good deeds of human lives. So let your lifestyle portray honesty, I told them. And I said, there was this woman that I read about. She just came back from the US. As she was getting to the airport, all her bags and luggage were checked in, and she took a cab left for her home. On getting home, she discovered that she left behind a particular bag which contained all her documents, including her bank accounts, documents, certificates, and some other important and other important documents. So the driver that took this woman was not aware that he left the bag inside a corner in the car. So as when the woman got down, the driver forgot to bring out the small bag from the corner where it was put in the car when they were checking in the luggage. So the driver, on getting home, discovered, when he was searching out the car, maybe trying to wash the car, and he discovered that a bag was there, lying there. So the driver, he now traced back. He traced the woman's home back to that apartment where the woman lodged. So the next day, the driver took the bag to the woman, and I want to tell you, that was the beginning of a turnaround for that driver. The woman engaged her in a company, gave her children scholarship. That can we still find some honest people like this in this our country? it was indeed a plus to the integrity of this driver. And that attitude, that honest attitude, changed the story of that man entirely. So I now told the students, you too can be better. Make this world a better place. Give your quota, contribute your positive influence. Be a positive influencer of your world, and let's have a changing world. The change starts from you and me. Let's start from our home front. Let's start from our nation. Let's start from our communities, and we'll have a better world. Now, I'm rounding off. I'll be with you in the next edition of this program, because it is a very full, it is a full-fledged lecture, and we have a lot to learn. Now, I'm rounding off with this point of view. Look at this world where we live in. Doctors, scientists, and various activists in their various endeavors. Even the brilliant minds that we have in our society today are all operating behind the curtains. They are operating behind the scenes, working tirelessly just to make the planet a better one and a safe one for all to live. All these unsung heroes have one thing in common, and that is a perfect moral compass. Success is a targeted effort guided by discipline. My recommendations thereof are: moral education should and must be included in our current educational institutions. As an educator, as a language expert, I believe that inculcating discipline in our society will go a long way in teaching our young, the youths, moral values from our homes and from our societies and from our various communities. Because we parents are first teachers at homes, and our children learn from us. So let's all put all hands must be on deck for a good work in polishing our good traits and making wiser choices for ourselves, for our loved ones, for our nations, and for our world. Thank you, and God bless.